Hey, it's Paul from ESG, and today we're reviewing not just a new scooter, but a whole new brand. This is the Aviator 2.0. It's got dual motors, solid tires, costs less than some single motor electric scooters, and is an absolute monster when it comes to climbing hills. The brand is called Synergy. You may not have heard of them yet, but they're huge in Canada with 32 dealers and are now launching in the US with warehouses in Seattle and Miami. For some riders, solid tires are a must-have feature because they're the only way to be 100% sure that you are never ever going to get a flat tire. But if you've looked around, you'll find there aren't a lot of scooters with dual motors and solid tires. In this review, we'll compare the Aviator against some of the best solid tire scooters we've ever tested. We should note that there's also a less expensive single motor version of the Aviator, which we'll review in the future, but today we're covering the Aviator 2.0. It's rated at 1200 watts of nominal power, but riding it, peak power feels like 2000 watts or more. We've been testing it for a week so far, and we're impressed with what you get for your money, especially if you take into account the stateside support from Synergy. I'll be honest, when I unboxed it and saw the solid tires, I didn't expect to like the Aviator's ride quality, because solid tires usually mean a harsh ride. The suspension does a very good job of smoothing out the larger bumps though. It uses a type of suspension that you usually see on more expensive scooters. Adjustable springs front and rear, plus a polyurethane bushing inside the springs, which helps it keep from springing back like a trampoline. The plus side of solid tires, of course, is you'll never get a flat tire, and you don't have to check tire pressure every week like you should be doing with air-filled tires. For the rest of you, this is your reminder to go check your tire pressure. The tires are 8 inches in diameter by 2.4 inches wide with a fairly flat tire profile for a larger contact patch that gives you extra traction when braking or accelerating, but the blunt profile is not quite as good for carving corners because you start to run out of tires on the edges. So it works best using a point and shoot riding style. The downside of the solid tires is that some of the smaller high frequency vibrations don't get fully smoothed out by the springs. The suspension felt slightly stiff at my rider weight of 165 pounds, but should feel best from about 175 pounds up to the 250 pound weight limit. The front suspension is a little stiffer than the back, like a trophy truck, which I really like because leaning back a little gives the Aviator better high-speed stability and helps it feel planted while braking or jumping off of curbs. For those who absolutely have to have air-filled tires, stay tuned. We've heard that a tubeless tire version is coming out as well, but these solid tires are growing on me the more I ride it. The Cockpit is an update of a classic look. I've never seen this type of grips before, but they might be my new favorites. They're soft and perfectly match the shape of a closed hand. Like all my favorite grips, they have clamps at both ends, so they'll never twist or slide off the bars. The Aviator uses sliding collars to fold the handlebars, which I prefer for 2 reasons. 1, it's way faster, and 2, you never have to retighten them during your ride like you do sometimes with the type that screw into place. These just feel firm all the time. The maximum handlebar height is unusually high for this type of scooter, from 39.5 inches tall down to as low as you possibly want to go. Just be careful to fully tighten the clamp before you ride. The stem latch has an easy-to-use handle. Be sure to plant your foot on the deck and nudge the stem forward to make sure it's fully latched though, and then click the safety catch into place. The brake levers have rubber inserts screwed right into place to give the levers a high-end feel. It has a clean-looking monochrome QSS4 style display that's easy to read in any light, and a trigger throttle that's easy to control. Next to it, you'll find a security key with a voltage indicator, which comes in handy when riding and also to let you know when it's fully charged. As usual, there are 3 gears that'll let you limit your maximum speed. Over at the left side, next to the headlight and horn switch, you'll find a nice rubberized Eco Turbo button and a switch to toggle between single and dual motors. Altogether, this gives you 12 possible riding modes. As usual with this style of button, the one downside is you can't tell what mode you're in until you pull the trigger, but once you do, the power difference is pretty obvious. Down on the deck, the Aviator has 2 button-style headlights as well as a bright center light, which you can aim right where you want. There are also some nice details like the logo that's CNC machined right into the aluminum on the deck and a metal charge port cover. I really like the look and feel of the cover, but just be careful not to ever touch the battery terminals with it. Also, keep it screwed all the way into place so it won't bounce around. The red acrylic side lights look pretty cool at night and seem more durable than other side lights, but aren't that visible during the day. A feature that makes this scooter feel current heading into 2023 is that every wire is plug and play, right down to the motors themselves. The only exception being the voltmeter key switch, which is hardwired for security reasons. The Aviator has a water protection rating of IP54, which came in handy when I got caught in the rain for more than 10 miles during the range test, which means I also got to test the fenders, and they did a good job of protecting me from road spray. Overall build quality is solid, with the most notable flaw being a small rattle from the stem latch when riding on rough pavement. A dab of silicone on either side of the lever should quiet it down, but we haven't tried it just yet. When we first started testing using the stock P settings, the Aviator felt mellow and easy to ride, but still a strong hill climber. So then we reached out to Synergy and got the password to unlock the P settings. It's 2626. Once we maxed out the settings, it became a whole different beast. It's kind of bonkers actually how hard it can launch. In fact, when compared to every scooter we've tested, the Aviator 2.0's acceleration per dollar is unbeatable. It beats past champion, the Wide Wheel Pro, and is tied by the Varla Pegasus, both rocketing from 0 to 15 miles per hour in an astounding 2.6 seconds. Surprisingly, it's quicker to 15 than the Apollo Phantom V2. The Aviator also wins for best acceleration in its weight class because it's more than 10 pounds lighter than the Pegasus, despite having exactly the same size battery. And as mentioned in the intro, it's an absolute monster when it comes to hill climbing. For the price, nothing we've tested climbs hills faster. Out on the range test course, despite having the P settings maxed out, throttle control was still very good, and range was still above average for the price, covering 22.5 miles. This is surprisingly close to the manufacturer's claimed range of 25 miles. We think it'll easily hit 25 using the stock P settings or any of the 11 slower speed modes. The 27.2 mile per hour tested top speed is a little above average for its price, and high-speed stability is surprisingly good despite the 8-inch diameter tires. The regen and dual drum brakes let you stop quickly when you need to. Best of all, unlike most drum brakes, they don't require a super strong grip to get maximum stopping power. They're also very low maintenance. You'll never get a bent rotor, they're unlikely to wear out, and if you ever need to adjust them, it's as simple as this. Our only critique here is that even in its lowest P setting, the regen can feel a little strong when you just want light braking, though you can turn it all the way off. Here's a surprise, it turns out that the Aviator 2.0 is much lighter than its 64-pound specification, weighing in at an ESG certified 56.2 pounds. Of the 106 scooters we've weighed, this is the third lightest dual motor scooter behind the featherweight Unagi Model 1 and just slightly heavier than the Mercane Wide Wheel Pro. Overall, portability is very good because of the folding handlebars and telescopic stem. Plus, the scooter gets 1 inch shorter when folded. To put its folded size in perspective, it's more than 6 inches shorter than a folded Visette 10 Plus, despite the Aviator having a deck that's 2 inches longer. Pros include amazing hill climbing power and acceleration, no flat tires ever because of the solid tires, and great suspension for the price. Cons include not the best at cornering and that one little rattle that we haven't fixed yet. For those of you comparison shopping, here are the closest competitors that we've tested at ESG. The Wide Wheel Pro has the shortest folded length of the comparison scooters and the widest tires by far, but has a lower rider weight limit than the Aviator and awkward cornering due to the steamroller-like tire profile. The Varla Pegasus has the highest rider weight limit and the shortest stopping distance of the four, but at 10 pounds heavier and 3 inches longer than the Aviator, it's much less portable, and at 25 miles per hour has the slowest measured top speed of the group. Weighing in at less than 30 pounds, the U-Scooter's GT Sport is by far the lightest of the group and has the highest top speed, but also has the shortest range, and because it's a single motor scooter, it takes nearly twice as long to get to 15 miles per hour as the Aviator. Okay, this next detail is a matter of personal preference, so you can take it as either a plus or a minus, but the Aviator is the only one of our 4 comparison scooters to use a trigger throttle rather than a thumb. If you're on the fence about getting a single motor or a dual motor electric scooter, the Synergy Aviator feels like a great place to start. It's similar in price and weight to some of the faster single motor scooters, but gives you much wider options when it comes to performance. You can turn it down in cruise or crank it all the way up and get some impressive acceleration. On the practical side, solid tire scooters like the Aviator make great commuters because you save time by never having to check tire pressure, and you won't ever be late for work because you got a flat tire. We spent quite a bit of time talking with Ryan, the owner of Synergy, and our overall feeling about the brand is that Synergy is a good choice for people that want a balance of good value, features, and performance from a brand with strong and growing presence this side of the ocean. We're already looking forward to testing the other two scooters they've sent us. Check out these other two ESG videos.